To make this planter, you'll need 4 different lengths of decking boards cutting and 1 length of internal wood frame. The first length of wood we're going to cut is for the legs. The legs are made up of 8 lengths of 54cm decking boards. So first of all, measure and mark your decking boards at 54cm. If you're using a handsaw, then you will need to draw a straight line across the board to use as a guide, and this is where you can use the 90-degree angle on your saw blade. Once marked, it's time to cut your first 8 lengths of wood. Use the straight line as a guide and make sure you cut on the very outside edge of the line to ensure you don't take away from the length of the wood. Even 2mm can make your planter uneven. After each cut, give the edges a light sand to remove any rough wood left behind. The width of the base of my planter is 45cm by 45cm. One side is made up of the thickness of 2 pieces of wood at 2.8cm and 1 length of wood at 39.4cm, which totals my 45cm. So let's measure and mark a 39.4cm length of decking. Then cut these lengths as before, remembering to cut on the outside edge. Remember to sand the edges of all of your 8 cuts at both ends. The next side of the planter is made up of 4 pieces of wood at 2.8cm and 1 piece of wood at 33.8cm. So measure and mark your next piece of decking at 33.8cm. Now measure, mark and cut 8 lengths of that decking. Remembering again to sand off all the rough edges on each piece. The final pieces of decking that you'll need are the decorative top pieces, which are made up of 4 pieces of decking, which are 55cm in length. So now measure and mark your tops. When you do this, I personally would add a little bit more to the measurement to allow for the 45-degree cuts you're going to make later. Then cut these 4 pieces of wood. You won't need to sand these down until you've made the 45-degree cuts later. Next, you'll need some wood for the inner shelf. This is made up of 6 pieces of wood at 33.5cm long. These are just a few millimeters shorter than the actual internal measurement to allow easy fitting. As before, measure and mark your wood at 33.5cm. Then cut these last 6 pieces. With all the wood lengths cut, you should then have 8 lengths of 54cm decking, 8 lengths of 39.4cm decking, 8 lengths of 33.8cm decking, 4 lengths of 55cm decking plus any excess, and 6 lengths of 33.5cm shelf support wood. For the very first side, you'll need 4 lengths of 54cm decking and 4 lengths of 39.4cm decking. Start by placing 2 of the 54cm wood face down and placing the 4 lengths of shorter woods face down over the top of them. All the edges need to be perfectly in line with each other. And this is achieved by using the second 2 leg supports as a guide. Keep tweaking all the pieces until you are happy that everything is in line. You should end up with the edges nice and tight at the top and at the bottom. You will need to place a screw through each plank in 4 places, 2 on each side towards the top and bottom, and in the middle of the plank underneath. This will give the side plenty of strength. It will then look like this. Now turn the side panel you've just made to the side and place the next leg flush with that. It's now time to screw this in place. You may need to screw down slightly at an angle if the groove is thicker than the wood behind. In total you will need 7 screws for this leg. 3 through the lower part into the leg behind, and 4 towards the middle into each of the side panels. Now you can screw all the screws in this side. You will then have a side that looks like this. Just repeat the same steps again to end up with a whole panel that looks like this. Repeat all the previous steps so then you end up with 2 fully formed side panels.